No, I'm not a writer.
Okay.
Something is about to break.
Hello, friends, and happy Wednesday. I feel terrible. We didn't post an episode last week. It's been a 1 week off of the show, but it seems like so long because since the last time I posted an episode, I have driven from Southern California to Branson, Missouri with my family. The whole family came. Lacey the puppy came. Lacey now has an Instagram if you want to go follow her. I think it's Adventures of Lazy Lacey. These are things you do when you are bored in a car, is you create an Instagram for your dog. But I'm telling you what, I am here in Branson. It's been a little bit of a whirlwind. I've started a 6-week run. Yesterday was the start of my second week. And I just now, I'm posting this on Wednesday. I just now finished my second show of the day, but it is my 30th show in the last 8 days, and I have 2 more shows tonight. So this run is crazy. It's fun. It's an adventure. I really like Branson. I wasn't sure, when you go to a new place, and I've been here before by myself, but when I knew I was bringing the whole family, I wasn't sure. I'm like, how is this going to go? Is the family going to get bored? Are we going to, be tired of, not having our own space and being in our house? But it's been a blast. And the whole family has recently adopted an entertainer's schedule. So, my kids have always been early risers. Like, they've always been up at like 6 or 6:30 in the morning. And since we've been here, everyone's staying up really late at night. I'm doing shows all day, so we stay up late and we hang out. And we go to, last night we went to Ripley's Believe It or Not. The night before we went to Dolly Parton's Stampede. It's a different world. It's pretty wild. But we're having a blast. And then everyone's been sleeping in. It's the weirdest thing. I'm not sure if this is just us adapting to the environment and kind of going to be how we survive while we're here, or if now my family sleeps in. It'll be interesting to find out. Because all of these years of being a full-time entertainer, I'm up crazy late hours because nothing in entertainment happens before like 7 o'clock at night. And then I still wake up early in the morning. So it's bizarre. It's bizarre to have a schedule this crazy, be doing this many shows and still sleeping like 9 hours a night. It's amazing. It's incredible. So thank you for your patience. Sorry that I didn't post last week. I've missed posting. I've got interviews that we recorded in LA, and I've got some that I'm going to be doing while we're out here. So stay tuned for those. But today I'm very excited because I've got my buddy Rob Balchunas on the phone. What am I doing? I've got my buddy Rob Balchunas on the podcast today. We recorded at his house in LA before I left. Rob, I've been trying to get him on this show for, maybe a year and a half. And we finally did it. And it almost didn't happen again because the day I was driving out to record with him, he had lost his voice the night before. And I said, Rob, do you want to do this or do you want to wait? And he's like, no, let's do it. So for those of you that know Rob, he's going to sound a little deeper, kind of a little smooth, buttery voice version of Rob with his little bit of rasp. I was also a little sick when we recorded this, but we did it. We did not give up. We did the thing. We're brave. We're so brave. We had a conversation with microphones and we recorded it and we're going to share it with you. I know you're going to love it. Sit back and relax and enjoy my conversation with Rob the Balloon Guy, incredibly talented balloon artist. And when I say that, I know what you're thinking. Balloons, right? You've seen people twist balloons at a birthday party. No, I'm talking about art. So when you see this guy's stuff, it's incredible. I mean, he's been on TV making Steve Harvey into a balloon and George Takei and all sorts of celebrities. But he also just does some amazing, incredible creations. And the thing I love about him most is he's just a down-to-earth, amazing, loving guy. And also like a silent killer when it comes to comedy. He's so freaking funny. He's the guy that has the funniest reply to anything people ever put online. So sit back, relax, and enjoy episode 119 with my buddy, Rob Balchunas. We're in your home.
Yeah, we are.
And we've been trying to do this podcast for a year and a half or something.
Probably something like that.
Yeah. I have a running list on my phone of people I'd like to talk to, and your name has been on that list forever. And for whatever reason, I don't know, maybe it's because we have weird entertainment lives. We're never in the same city at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, some of us go to Branson for 6 weeks. Not me.
It sounds so glamorous. I'm going to Branson. I did the math. So probably when this comes out, I will be in Branson. But I did the math yesterday of how many shows I'm going to do. Mm-hmm. In 6 weeks, I'm going to do 144 shows. I'm going to do a gross amount of shows.
Oh, man. Throat coat.
Yes. Lots of throat coat.
Yeah.
Rob is right now. I should do an intro or something.
Maybe.
I'll do the thing I normally do. Oh, Rob's voice is gone.
Yeah.
I love that we've been planning this for months and months and months, and then finally when it's about to happen, the day before you lose your voice.
Yeah. Well, I did this on purpose to guarantee a next episode.
Yeah. But as you said, because you're from Connecticut,
yeah,
it's a shoo-in.
Yeah.
Because Eddie Firth is from Connecticut.
Yep. So far he has like 4 episodes or so. So
I think so, yeah.
I'm going to try to break that record.
I think there's some episodes of the show that I'm not on, but Eddie is on. But dude, we're here. We're doing it. We're at your house. We're in Northridge.
Yes, Magic Row.
Magic Row, is it? It's called. You call it Magic Row because of.
Well, actually, our house is called Brookledge West.
Brookledge.
Because if you're familiar with Brookledge,
yes, the Brookledge Follies, famous home of the family who started the Magic Castle.
Yes.
But you're saying this is Brookledge.
Yes, we decided to call it Brookledge, but then we found out Mike Caveney was calling his house Brookledge.
Oh, was he really?
Yes.
But Mike Caveney's loaded.
And where does he get off? His house is much nicer than this.
Mike Caveney's got like stocks. I don't know. I don't know anything about Mike Caveney's financial status, but I think I've given him enough money that
he has at least $250 from me.
Yeah, he should be doing well.
Yeah. But so we changed it to Brookledge West out of respect.
Oh, there we go. Yes, moment of silence.
Yeah. But when we moved in, our roommate Eddie went across the street to meet the neighbors, and he was giving him a rundown. He's like, "Oh, there's these people over here. They do this, and there's this guy. He does this, and this guy over here, Joe. He's a magician."
You're like, "Wait, what?"
He's like, "Yeah, Joe. Joe who?" He's like, "Joseph Tran." He's like, "I know Joseph Tran."
That's so funny, man.
Yeah.
Like, I asked how you found this place because, first of all, you know, how many entertainers are living in this home?
4.
There's 4 You've broken the rule. Like, the rule is you get a roommate who has a real steady job and guaranteed income. But you thought, you know what? Why don't we just have 4 people that are taking turns being out of work?
Yeah. So usually, it's nice to have alone time to do your stuff, but pretty much we all just hang out and do stupid crap and do bits and stuff.
Oh, this house has like so much, like as soon as I walked in, there's so much cool memorabilia and like projects and stuff. It's like, oh dude, this is a creative space.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's in it's the neighborhood you would not picture a bunch of entertainers to be having a wild creative entertainment house, because it is like Beaver Cleaver. It's like a real we're very close to like the castle in LA, and yet it's like
it looks like suburbia.
It is, yeah, it is. This looks like where they would film the Santa Clarita Diet or something.
Yeah, which they might be across the street. I don't know what they're filming.
Yeah, they're filming something at Joseph's house, I think. Yeah. So, this is wild. We're doing it. We're doing the most LA thing we can.
Yeah.
We are in a home full of entertainers recording a podcast across the street from a TV taping at 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
It's exciting. So, man, so I will be editing a lot of this because we both have coughs.
Yes. And I'll be taking sips of throat coat.
Of course, I said I was going to edit it. Now I can't edit it because we're talking about things.
Yeah.
This is going great.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning in. We both have coughs. You lost your voice.
Yep.
How did you lose your voice?
I'm not exactly sure.
Okay. Has this happened to you before? Like, do you frequently lose a voice when you get sick or?
Yeah, sometimes when I get sick. But usually not too much.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was at Booby Trap on Wednesday and maybe was cheering too much, and also had some friends there who were that I met at Tannen's Magic Camp, and trying to talk in a loud venue, you have to speak louder.
Yeah. This is one of the reasons I hate doing strolling magic.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's always in a venue where there's a lot of loud music and you're having to talk really loud. And I usually do strolling before like another show. So it's like you don't want to lose your voice before you have to talk for like an hour.
No. That's why I think Nick Paul has the best act.
Because he's figured it out, man.
He doesn't have to worry about that.
He's figured it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the few magicians, Nick Paul, one of the few magicians, both very good friend of both of ours, who can work silently or talk. Yeah. And does a great job either way.
Yeah, he's been talking a lot more lately, and it's been kind of weird to see that.
Is that why you lost your voice? You were like, stop talking, Nick! Yeah. More quietness.
Yeah. Although that's the great thing about having a lot of entertainer friends. I made a post last night on Facebook, and I'm like, it's kind of too late, but what are your recommendations for getting your voice back? And I got like 40 plus replies.
Yeah, they're like, you're gonna need a kitten, a pure white kitten.
Yeah. Chipper Lowell recommended throat coat, and
throat coat's the best.
Gargling water and stuff. And I'm like, well, what do you know about performing?
Chipper's a beast, man. That guy is like everywhere. He's in Saudi Arabia right now,
doing like 500 shows a year.
Isn't that crazy? It's always funny when you have friends who are you're like, oh, I just saw them in Fullerton and now they're in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a wild world we live in. Mm-hmm. I'm getting a little distracted at all the things there are to look. You have a Brookledge Follies poster over here.
Yes.
And then you have a...
I don't want to brag, but we've been before.
Yeah. Yeah, do you know I've never been?
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know the handshake. There's a secret handshake, I've been told. Or
I've been lucky enough to perform there once for their...
dude, that's amazing.
Like once annual or biannual or whatever kid show.
Yeah.
And just being able to be on that stage was incredible.
That was incredible. Growing up as a junior at the castle with Joseph, who lives across the street, your neighbor, Brookledge was like, I mean, it's like the Mecca. It was like the castle before the castle was a place. Mm-hmm. And you go there, it's this amazing theater that they've built in this backyard.
And the backyard.
The backyard, yeah. They have a backyard in LA. Yeah, forget the theater. Everyone's just like, wow, you've got square footage. Yeah. There's literally like a stream that runs, through the backyard. And
when we're not in a drought.
Yeah, when we're not in a drought.
Yeah. I actually made decorations, balloon decorations for Scott and Harry's wedding there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. That was a fun wedding.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah.
You got married at Brookledge?
Yeah.
Oh, that's rad.
Yeah. Did that. They had their first dance in the pool back before they fixed it and actually put water.
Oh, I was like, that's cutting edge, man.
Yeah.
And now for the first swim. That's great.
That'd be fun for them to recreate it now.
Yeah. They should do it. They should do every anniversary. They should go for a swim at Brookledge.
Yeah.
It'd be really good.
We've got a dolly.
Yes. Talk about this. This is what is this? The Black Dahlia in painting?
That is not mine. I think it's a print.
Okay.
But it's a dolly painting that Lily has. Lily has a lot of really cool art.
Yeah.
We used to have, she sold it, but we used to have a piece, from Sesame Street. It was, like a tile, mosaic thing of Cookie Monster. Me, Claudius.
Oh, that's
I might
awesome.
mess that up. And like, there's a little like, track cut in that had an inchworm.
That's
that they
awesome.
puppet through it. And apparently it was one of Henson's favorite pieces.
That's incredible, man. Were you a big, I'm probably a big Henson fan, huh?
Yeah. Watching Sesame Street growing up all the time.
Yeah.
That was my childhood.
Whenever I drive down La Brea and see the Henson Studios.
Yeah.
Which used to be Charlie Chaplin
Yeah.
Studios. It's crazy.
Uh-huh.
It's just insane. And then people are just like, walking by eating some Zenkow chicken or something. It's like,
Yeah.
can we all stop and recognize what's happening right now? I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
I've just noticed this statue next to me.
I am not really sure about that one.
I love that we're doing a visual tour of your home on an audio podcast. And,
Yes.
And talk about this, but let's be as undescript as possible for the folks listening.
So that is from
Perfect. That's right.
what's the show? Adventure Time.
Yeah.
Eddie's a really huge fan.
For friends listening right now, I'm so distracted. There is so much to take in here. I want to just walk around and pick up things off every shelf. And
I'm going to take a quick pause.
Yeah.
I'm back.
He's back. He went and fetched something.
So speaking of audiovisual podcasts, we have a lot in common.
Yes.
We've both performed at Booby Trap.
Yes.
We're both members of the AMA.
Yes, that's the Academy of Magical Arts.
Yes, and we
Magic
both
Cousin.
have canned balloon dogs.
Yes, we do. This is on my shelf right now. Oh, that's so cool. Scott, who you put me in contact with when I was in Nashville last year, and we had a great conversation, and he gave me one of those.
Yeah, I actually listened to that last night to prep for this.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. One of the ingredients for this one is extra virgin Balchunas oil.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's so funny. So I recorded with Scott. It would have been last August, I think. So coming up on a year.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, you and I had already been trying to find a time to record. And then you're like, I'm not around, but you're going to Nashville. Talk to Scott.
So I missed being the first balloon artist on the podcast.
Yes.
I am the second. Hooray.
You are the second balloon artist on the podcast. But I want to talk about balloon. I want to get the whole Rob story.
Oh, man.
But I laughed the other day because Katie and I were sitting on the couch and she's looking through Facebook and she saw a comment that you had made and she just started dying laughing. She's like, Rob is hilarious. Like he should write for TV. And then I was like, I'm going to tell Rob we figured it out. Like I know Rob has probably been wondering, what do I really want to do with my life? And we figured it out, Rob. You should just go out and become a TV writer.
I mean, I still have like $40,000 worth to pay back for going to school for TV writing. So maybe I should do that. My mom always keeps asking when I'm going to use my degree.
Perfect. That's great. That's great. I very often go, well, you know what? Why don't we just all go get Netflix specials? Like, let's just all go out and do it.
I have 3 friends who have Netflix series or specials.
Right.
Including my college roommate.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. I was going to ask, this scenario of you guys living all in this house, do you get excited for one another when you get opportunities, or is it a little bit like Don't Think Twice? I don't know if you saw that movie, Don't Think Twice.
I have not yet.
It's a great movie.
Hold on. Let me go watch that.
Okay, great. We're going to pause for a moment.
All right.
All right. I will director's commentate as Rob is watching the movie.
All right. And we're back.
And we're back. Don't Think Twice is a Mike Birbiglia film about an improv troupe who basically one of the guys in the improv troupe gets on like the movie version of like SNL.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to hear if there's drama in this house.
I mean, in the past, I have struggled with professional jealousy. But
I myself have never dealt with that. So describe it in graphic detail. No, I'm joking.
Well, as I've grown older and slightly wiser a little bit, realize that like it's all on me. So pretty much I have to make all the choices that I make to do what I want to do. And like nothing's going to be handed to me.
Yeah.
And I was
good,
listening to another podcast, which I won't name because we don't want to promote any.
It's
other
okay.
podcasts.
We can promote podcasts.
A comedian and magician who we don't want to talk about.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
okay.
I see. Oh yeah, you're talking about the setup with Chris Grace and
No, don't say it.
Who for some reason have made it a thing just to tell people not to listen to this podcast.
Yeah. So don't listen to theirs, and we'll be equal.
No, it's
Even.
true.
Industry standard with Barry Katz.
Okay.
I forget who. Actually, I can probably pull it up. But he was saying that something about when opportunity knocks, you need to be attractive.
Oh, that's good, man.
Yeah.
That's good. I've often quoted Steve Martin saying, like, opportunity comes up, but you need to be within pointing distance when opportunity comes up. But the fact of, like, not just being there, but, like, having your stuff together.
Yeah. It's Michael Levine is the guy he interviewed.
Oh, yeah.
Which I should know because that's a fabric store that I go to. I mean, there's a lot of opportunities I've had where had I not been prepared, it wouldn't have worked out. Like just now, I'm doing a run at the Magic Castle.
Yeah.
Thursdays for a summer camp group. And speaking of getting over professional jealousy and speaking of living in a house with people, when I performed at Brookledge, Hannibal recommended me to Erica for that show. Eddie recommended me to Adam for the summer camp show.
Yep.
And like, had I not had an act that I've been working on for a number of years, like I would have probably bombed and that's it. Like, don't get asked back.
It's so good, man. Like a lot of people go, they want an opportunity, but it's like anybody can get a chance to do something once, but you have to, like you said, you have to have your act honed. You have to be not only the person on stage, but the person off stage that people want to work with again.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and you've done that, and that's awesome, dude. I think it's funny. I asked you about do you get jealous of other people?
Totally, I'm human.
No, I'm just fascinated. Like I live in a house with other people who don't, like, they understand what I do. Like my family understands what I do, but they're not doing it every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I know what it's like to be the one entertainer who's in your head trying to figure out stuff. And I just think it's an interesting dynamic to have a bunch of entertainers together. It probably is very helpful, right? Like, because, like the whole point of this podcast is like, let's talk about the stuff that people don't normally talk about and you can feel isolated, but.
Yeah. And as entertainers, we're all kind of not really unstable, but like there's lots going on and there can be like really big highs and really big lows. And
right.
It kind of like there's an ebb and flow. So like we all support each other when things aren't going well, but we're all like happy to see everybody succeed. Yeah. And it's also really nice to have like an immediate place to, like, if you have an idea, just like run out and like, hey, what do you think about this?
Yeah. And people who get like the whole process, like they get, I want to know what you think, but also be gentle because I've been, working on this.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. That's really cool. How did you get into all of this stuff? Like when you were a kid, were you always doing balloons and magic and stuff? Like what was your first? Well,
this will probably be like a 3-part episode.
Yeah, we're doing a monthly series, the Rob Balchunas story.
Yeah. So everything started when I was a small child.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
A twist.
Yes. I'm the oldest, and every year since I can remember, my parents took me to the Ringling Brothers Circus.
Yeah. How many siblings?
Hartford, Connecticut.
Okay.
I have 2 sisters.
Okay.
One who's 2 years younger, who just got married.
Yeah.
And one who's 2 years younger than her. So we're all 2 years apart.
Okay. Cool. And you're the oldest.
Yep.
And when was this like a whole family thing? Everyone went to the circus once a year?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Well, once they were born.
Oh, good. Yeah. Yeah. Prior to that, no one attended the circus.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I was just fascinated by the whole thing. Like I really loved the clowns. And there was actually a Ringling Brothers store in our local mall.
Okay.
Which
that's cool.
I think was a very short-lived concept, but I didn't really have any concept of time back then, really.
Yeah.
But basically we'd go there and
they just sell like memorabilia from the shows, or
they had balloon kits, they had magic kits.
Oh, that's cool.
They had juggling kits, clowning kits. So I started with the Qualitex balloon magic kit.
Okay.
we'll circle back to that in a second.
Yeah.
And then also the VHS Be a Clown, which Feld Entertainment produced.
Nice. And Feld produced a lot of the Ringling Brothers shows.
Yep.
And
they bought Ringling in the 60s.
Yep.
And they also produced like Monster Jam, Disney on Ice,
Yep.
Disney Live.
They still produce all those. Yeah.
They're a entertainment super force.
Yeah.
I got that VHS.
So what year would this have been? What era are we
So this was when I was 4, so that
Okay.
was 1991.
in? Okay.
We got the VHS. We actually rented a VHS player.
You didn't have a VHS player.
We did not back then.
See, this is a funny thing. I forgot you could do this. You could go to like a Blockbuster type place or like and not just rent the video, but rent the device to play the video on.
Yeah.
That's hilarious, man. I totally forgot about that. Okay,
Old school.
so
It's
your,
funny,
your
everybody-
parents are very supportive then. Like if you're like, hey, I want to get this video. Also, I want to get a device to watch the video on.
Yeah. I mean, my mom always says, when are you going to get a film job? But at the same time, whenever I come home, she has me make balloons for all her friends and
Right.
everything. And I do
great.
my dad's company holiday party when I go home.
That's awesome.
So yeah, they've been really supportive of me. Yeah. So we got the VHS, and years later, I saw a copy of it on eBay, completely sealed and signed by the host of it, Ron Severini.
Oh, dude, I remember that guy.
Yeah,
And so you got it?
I got it. It was only like $10.
Oh, that's cool.
And then, unfortunately, in 2017, Ringling announced that it was closing,
Right.
which devastated me.
Yeah.
I let out a lot of expletives, and Eddie and Lily were like, "What's going on?"
Yeah.
So since it was on the East Coast, I decided to go back for the last shows of each unit, because they have 2 different touring units.
Right.
Each is on like a 2-year tour, so you'll get a new show every year.
And then it was like the gold.
They also
line.
had the Gold unit, which
Yep.
was a truck show.
Yep.
Um,
And the other units were based on because they ran on the rail
yeah,
like up until a couple years ago.
yep, the largest
It's amazing.
private-owned train in the country.
Ah, it's amazing. Okay.
Yeah, I mean we can.
And that's how you knew where they were going to stop, because that's where the train went.
Yep, exactly.
Crazy.
Yeah, we can do like another 3 episodes about circus, but
Oh, I love it.
yeah, but a few years ago, I started getting hired to do the VIP opening parties at the Staples Center.
That's awesome.
And Ruthie Chaddock, who taught makeup or was the makeup host during that makeup segment,
Yeah.
she was in charge of coordinating all the events.
Okay.
And so it was awesome to get to meet her. And then as I'm on the East Coast, seeing the last shows, I get a message from her on Facebook, and she's like, "Hey, are you coming to the show?" I'm like, "Actually, I'll be at the last one."
Yeah.
So I went back to Connecticut, saw that show with my family like one last time, last Balchunas family circus outing.
Yeah.
And then they went to Providence, where the last show was, and I got Ruthie to sign it. And then Kenneth Feld, owner of Feld Entertainment, Ruthie was like, "Oh, Kenneth's over there." So I went up, and I'm like,
No way.
"Hello, sir. This video inspired me to be a performer, so thank you very much. Would you mind signing it?"
Yeah.
So I got that signed. And then Charlie the Clown out of Vegas right now, he taught the balloon segment on there. So next time I'm in Vegas, I'm going to try to meet up with him and get him to sign it.
Oh, that is so cool, man.
So there's nothing like this in the world.
That's amazing. And so you got to see like their last run of shows.
Yeah.
What was that like for you? I mean, obviously it played a huge role in your life, and
Yeah. It was very emotional.
yeah,
there were some tears.
yeah,
But it felt more like a celebration than a funeral,
yeah.
which I was happy about. And the last Red Unit show in Providence, I went out afterwards with a few friends of mine. And I don't know if you know Tuba Heatherton.
I don't know.
Okay, he's an entertainer out of here, SoCal. He was a clown and ringmaster understudy.
Oh, cool.
But he also flew out for that. My friend Scout flew out with me too.
Wow.
And it's unfortunate that they didn't really get to do a full country tour because
Okay. Yeah,
like a
they
lot of
just
people on the
jumped
East
at the time.
Coast, or like a lot of the people on the East Coast, like or West Coast, didn't, unless they came out for it, they didn't
Right.
get a chance.
It was kind of quick, right? They announced it.
It
And it was
was-
just like a couple months later.
It was January
wrapping.
17th, I think, and then May were the last couple shows.
Yeah.
So when that happened, my friend John saw, and he's like, the last ever show, the Blue Unit, which was the ice show that they did,
Yeah.
is like, it was like 10 minutes from his warehouse that he
Okay.
had. So he's like, do you want to get tickets? And I'm like, yeah, like I really want to be there.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, we're going to do it. And he was looking at tickets for the last show. And he's like, ooh, this is really expensive.
Oh, yeah.
But there were tickets to these earlier show in the day,
Yeah.
which were more reasonable. So
Okay.
we got those. And
Wow.
then there was like a few weeks in between the last red show and the last blue show.
Yeah.
And we were doing a lecture tour to try to subsidize the tickets and the trip, which failed horribly
Yeah.
because we didn't really plan well and not a lot of people came out.
Yeah. Those things are so hit and
Yeah.
miss too.
But I got to spend a lot of time with him, and he's a really good friend and mentor and guy who kicks my ass.
That's good. We all need people like that.
Yeah. But we're at dinner, and a friend of mine who was also a Ringling Clown and who books me a bunch and like was a childhood hero when I was growing up.
That's so cool. Isn't it so cool that like the people that were heroes are like your buddies now?
Yeah. Can't do that in rock and roll.
No, you can't.
Yeah. I know that always comes up. Like in Magic, you can meet all your heroes. And
Yeah, it's true.
But he posted on Facebook. He's like, "Hey, I have tickets to the last show. Does anybody want them?" Because I guess he maybe got comps or something because
Yeah.
he had been part of the show. And I looked at John. I'm like, "Hey, he just is selling tickets."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, we're gonna see the second to last show. Why not the last show?"
Yeah.
Yeah, so we saw that, went out, and hung out with more clown friends.
Yeah.
They took like a giant photo of all the Ringling alums in front of. They had some of the carts that they have on the trains that they when they can't park near the venue, so there's carts that are loaded on trains, and then they bring them in and park near the venue, the arena.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And then we went back in and saw the last show.
Wow, man. How was that last show? I mean, I know you mentioned how it is for you watching it, but how was it for the team? Like,
I mean, pretty emotional.
yeah.
But I mean, kind of like business as usual. You got to
gotta
get the
do
same show every time.
Show
Yeah.
must go on.
Show must go on.
Wow,
Um,
man.
Yeah. And like my friend Wages, he was saying like nobody really got to hang out after because you had to, everybody had to like load out, break down everything.
Yeah.
Which understandable, but there were a lot of and Wages is amazing. He's now a conductor on the Big Apple Circus.
Oh, cool.
And he gave me the opportunity I drove up to Bakersfield, which is the only reason why I drive up to Bakersfield.
Right.
And he let me like sit with the band for the show.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that was pretty incredible. Like everybody's like skating past you, and
There's those moments we get, you know, and again, it all comes because of friends. It's not because like I don't know. I have so many times where I'd look around and go, how am I at this moment right now?
yeah,
And I think those are the things that you go like, oh, this is when it may be discouraging, or maybe you could look at like the stuff that you're doing and go like, oh, I wish I was doing something different or more of this or more of that. You have those moments where you're just like, all right, this is rad.
yeah. I mean, I look at my life, I'm like, I've done some really cool things.
Oh yeah. Yeah, okay, the Greatest Showman movie.
Yes.
Just briefly,
Mm-hmm.
how'd you feel about it?
There were a lot of feels.
Yeah, a lot of feels.
I went to see it with my sisters when I was visiting in Connecticut.
Okay.
So that was fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. Definitely, it's not like factually accurate,
Right.
but
A
it was
lot of liberties with the story, and
it was a good story.
yeah.
My friend Chris Grobber was a juggler in there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so he's in the background of a few scenes.
My kids obsessed with that movie. They love it, and I was trying to explain to them, like, I think one of the good things they did was on the CGI side of it. Like, it wasn't over the top, but it was enough that, like, when you go to the circus, like, I feel like if you watched a video on YouTube of the circus,
Mm-hmm.
it's missing the thing you get when you're at the circus.
Yeah,
Like, there is this overarching, encapsulating feel you get when you're in that space.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You really can't recreate like a
Yeah.
live entertainment experience.
No, and I feel like I don't know. I was trying to think, like, what is it about the circus in particular that is so unique? And I think it's the fact that so much of it is analog. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It is like, oh, that guy's really standing on a rope. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
well, you don't see that other places, even in other live entertainment shows.
Yeah.
I mean, we go to a place like Booby Trap and see people swinging from the ceiling all the time. But
yeah,
for most people, you don't get that vibe. Like,
yeah. And if it's on TV, like it's probably going to be okay.
right.
But-
They wouldn't air it if,
Yeah.
not.
Like all the Ringling programs always say, due to the hazards of circus performing, some of the acts in this program might not be performing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and actually, in Hartford, the Wheel of Death Act or the Wheel of Steel,
Ooh, with the motorcycles?
no,
wait.
the like hamster.
Oh,
type
that
thing.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. The performer kind of fell, not from very high up, but definitely jacked his ankle up.
Oh,
So he kind of sat out the last few shows, but then went back and did the last show ever. And yeah,
circus
you could tell
artists,
he was hurting, but
circus artists amaze me because it's like, how do you practice this stuff?
Mhm.
You know, you see someone doing like the iron jaw, or like they're, you know what I mean? Like they're doing like a hair suspension thing.
yeah,
How do you I'm going to give this a go and try it.
I know. It's like, yeah, you just gotta do it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Like, all right, I guess we'll try it now without the net.
Yeah.
So you're a kid and you see the VHS,
Hmm.
and right away, I mean, on the Be a Clown one, were they showing juggling? Were they showing like balloon stuff? What were they?
Yeah. So it was like some like basic movement of like you can be big or you can be small.
Yep.
There was like a juggling segment, and then balloons. They went into a few clown gags.
Okay.
Which my dad's father used to do with me sometimes, and then makeup,
Okay.
and they showed Lou Jacobs, the very famous Ringling Clown, performing one of his bits. So it was just kind of a general overarching thing.
And you wore out this VHS watching it.
Yeah.
And then what? Like, what was the first time you said, I'm going to try one of these things? Do you remember that moment? Was it magic, or I know you had your balloon kit.
Yeah. I kind of was working on everything at the same time.
Okay.
And I don't know, balloons fascinated me the most.
Yeah.
So like I juggle, I'm a pretty decent juggler, but I don't like book that out.
Just because you don't, that's not what
I mean,
you want to do, or
Um,
you just never really promoted yourself as a juggler?
never really promoted myself, and there's a
Because
lot
I've seen you juggle.
Yeah.
You can juggle.
yeah, there are a lot of people who are more talented than me out here. But the thing I like about balloons is they're, and don't like, is that they're a really big commodity. Like Everybody loves balloons.
Right.
Nobody wants to see another juggling trick. Nobody wants to see another magic trick.
You said the thing you like and you don't like?
Yeah.
Why don't you like that?
Well, when I'm working gigs with other people, they can just pack up and leave when they're done.
Oh, yeah.
And then trying to end the line is tough.
Oh, yeah.
And people demand balloons.
Right. And especially if it's like a family audience and kids are breaking them. Like,
Yeah.
I remember, and I am not a balloon artist by any means, but when I was doing birthday party magic shows, I would do like and for an extra $50, I'll make balloon animals.
Yep.
And I could never keep up with, like, they were popping them faster than I can make them.
Yeah.
So what do you do with that? like, do you do the thing where you're like, sorry, only one per person, or like, how do you?
Yeah. Not to sound like a snob, but my balloons are more advanced than
You're like,
typical balloons.
my balloons don't break.
I think people care about them more than just like a one balloon dog. That
Yeah. I was
takes
making
2
like
seconds to
balloon
make.
swords.
Yeah.
It's like, here, take this and break it. Fight with it.
Yeah. I mean, the swords anyway, no matter how good they are, they'll be played with.
Yeah, but you're making actual art. You're not just making, here's the 3-twist dog kind of deal.
Yeah. And I try to make balloons that people can wear either on their hand or on their head, something like that.
Yeah.
Because when you set a balloon down, it's probably going to hit the grass or like the pavement or like a table that's has splinters and stuff. So if they're holding it, they're much more likely to not break it.
Yeah.
And because they're kind of cooler than just a cat or something like that.
Yeah.
Unless it's a cool cat.
Do you have like have you ever made a list of like, these are all the things I can make with balloons? Like, have you ever figured out how many things you can actually make? Or is it or is it more of a challenge of like, can someone stump me and then I have to go figure out how to do it?
Pretty much if I have enough time and I know what it looks like, I can make anything.
That's amazing.
And thanks to smartphones now, like you can just look up whatever character they want.
Yeah.
Because now there's like just so many. I mean, I've been out of the kids show loop for a while.
Right. But I mean, like, I'm sure you get even adults being like, can you do this? Like, it seems like, especially like close-up artists, I think, deal with this, where people are like, they'll grab a card and be like, tell me what the card is. You know what I mean? But like, do you have that where people are like trying to like stump you or trying to like give you some crazy thing?
Totally. And adults, I like working for adults more because they can be a little bit more creative.
Yeah.
And also like they are okay with, hey, I have to go now. And they're like, oh, I didn't get a balloon.
Right.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But so I usually take requests. But I have friends who like to surprise people with something, or like Scott Tripp, when he works his restaurants, he'll like try to think of a theme for the night and play off of that.
Yeah. That's really cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
Is there like a certain gig that stands out that you were like, this was like the best time I had making balloons?
I mean, Ringling was awesome.
Oh yeah.
Man, I'm trying to think.
No pressure.
I recently did the Toy Story 4 premiere.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's
incredible.
Yeah, that was. I had like 3 bucket list items checked off that week.
How long before that happened did you know it was going to happen?
I got the gig?
Yeah. Like, was it you knew ahead of time it was coming, or was it like a kind of a last minute deal?
I don't know. Maybe I had like 3 weeks or so.
Okay. So did you find yourself going like, all right, I got to practice some Toy Story characters, or?
Well, I mean, it would have been great if we got to see the movie so we knew what was going on, because there's like new characters and stuff.
Yeah. How do you make a spork out of a balloon?
So yeah, looking at that, and out of all the balloons I made in that like 2-ish hours or so, the only Toy Story balloon I made was one of the aliens for myself to wear.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it's always funny because like when people have a theme, they're like, all right, we want this.
Yeah.
And it never ends up working out that way.
Yeah.
People just want what they want.
Yep. I get it, man.
Yeah. But yeah, when I moved out here in 2010, I at that point, my friend was booking stilt walkers in front of the El Capitan for like every single day of the run of whatever movie was out.
Cool.
And when I moved out, they stopped that, unfortunately.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because by then you had already developed this repertoire of like, I mean, you can juggle, you do balloons.
Yeah.
I know you can do magic. Like,
Yeah. Stilt walking.
yep.
But they were still doing like the premieres for the movies.
Okay.
And a friend of mine who had been doing balloon stuff for them recently moved to Kansas City. So I'm starting to get some of his gigs now that he would normally book him for.
Okay. Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk a little bit about TV writing. Because when you went to school specifically for television film stuff?
Yeah, so when I was a kid, I wanted to be Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Jurassic Park's my favorite movie.
Like I think every kid who grew up around that time period, like not every kid, but you know what I mean? Like if you loved movies,
yeah,
it was like everything you touched turned to gold.
Yeah. When I work horror nights, we don't need a name tag because we're never like in the park unless we're in character.
Right.
But we can purchase them if we want.
Okay.
They're like, well, we can't give you one. He's like, well, can I buy one? They're like, okay. So it used to be like your name and your favorite Universal movie. So I'm like, of course, Jurassic
Park.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I was obsessed with, I wanted to be a special effects artist.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would make things from the movies. And I remember trying to make like the little Jurassic Park, fossils and eggs and all that stuff. And so fun.
Yeah, I was a huge dinosaur kid.
Yeah.
And my first email address on our 14.4K dial-up modem, which was only email, was raptorrob@juno.com.
Yes, Juno, man.
Juno.
I saw someone recently that still had a Juno. It was either Juno or Net Zero, and I was like, I didn't even know those were still around.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. There's a lot of professionals out there rocking AOL.
Yeah.
Still going strong.
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
So you were way into movies too.
Yeah.
At the same time of doing balloons and magic and yeah.
So went to Emerson College in Boston. Have a degree in media arts with a concentration in film.
Awesome.
And so my last 2 years, I ended up concentrating on writing and editing, which is pretty much storytelling on either side of production.
Right. Yeah.
Because writers write the thing, but editors also write it.
Yeah.
At the end.
Yeah. And if you're in one of those roles, you really want to know the other role.
Mm-hmm.
It's important that you can speak the same language and also understand what their world is like,
Yeah.
Wow. So you study both those.
Yep. And also, while doing that, I was working for my friend Royal, who I learned a lot about being a professional entertainer about.
Yeah.
He has a contract for the Boston Red Sox. So every game, 2 hours before the game on Yawkey Way, they had stilt walker, juggler, brass band, balloon artist, face painter.
Yeah. Wow.
So I got to work a lot of those gigs. I worked a bunch of holiday gigs for him.
This is all while in college?
Yep.
Okay.
And then my friend Alex Clark, I think you know him.
Yeah.
Another booby trapper.
Yep.
When I first moved or came there, I was on Facebook and I'm looking at people's interests or something, and saw him with juggling and balloons and stuff. So when I got there, we started busking outside of Faneuil Hall.
Oh, wow.
Twisting balloons. And then eventually I got into their official program. So I was...
The school had a program?
No, Faneuil Hall.
Oh, Faneuil Hall. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, Quincy Market.
Yeah.
So I, on the weekends, I'd busk there and get some beer money and stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that was fun. And I also watched a lot of street shows. There were a lot of really great street performers there. So just watching them over and over and seeing how that worked.
Do you find like you enjoy watching other performers just as much as you enjoy performing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever do you ever have the fact that you have knowledge in a certain area take you out like of watching something? Like it's hard to suspend disbelief because I know as a magician, I'm like, you know, there's certain shows where like the best thing that can happen is if I can just shut it off and just be like, you know, I'm 5 years old again. I don't even care. I'm not going to try to figure anything out. But then there's the other shows where it's like something's off and you can't get past the fact that like, fix this thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you deal with that?
Yeah. It's like a back and forth. Because like sometimes I'll be watching and like looking for moves.
Yeah.
But usually like, especially if I'm watching like for a second time or whatever.
Yeah.
Like if I go to the castle 3 days in a week.
Yep.
But I don't know. I like to try to like go in with an open mind and try to watch like a spectator would watch.
Yeah. That's good, man.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I enjoy it more when I just go, I'm just here to play.
Yeah. I like being amazed.
Yeah.
Like Blake Voigt last week.
I didn't get to see it, man.
Oh man.
It was in the parlor?
Yeah, he was in the parlor.
Okay. I've never seen Blake do a full show. I've just seen him do spots at different places.
Yeah. He does his stool thing.
That
There was
is bonkers.
Yeah, it was a different take on it.
Okay.
But still the kicker.
Yeah.
Which like I can't wrap my head around.
Yeah. I was doing Adam Grabowski's show out in Santa Monica, and Blake was on the show, and he had like just, I think this was maybe 2 years ago, and I think he had just like come up with that idea.
Yeah.
And he was going to workshop it, and he did it at a comedy club, like right there surrounded by people. And I was like, what is happening right now?
Yeah.
It was the best thing ever.
Yeah, I saw him do it at Booby Trap at the old Bob Baker.
Oh, okay.
And then I saw him at Magic Live do it, and like he's like, "Oh man, you've seen like the whole progression of it."
Yeah.
And then like now this thing is even different, but still uses the same concept.
It's just incredible.
And I love the castle because it's so magical.
Yeah.
Which
Do you still get the
it's in the
whimsy?
name.
Do you?
Yeah.
But I mean, you're there a lot. Like, do you still get?
Yeah.
I get it, man.
So
It's one of those things for me. Like, I'm sorry, I asked you a question.
Oh, no
I'll cut
worries.
you off. But it's like, there's the law of diminishing returns with most things in life, and I've only found 2 places that don't have that for me. Like, you know, you go to Disneyland and you go to see Star Tours, and the first time you go on Star Tours, you're like, this is amazing, and then the 20th time you go on it, you're like, I just feel like I'm watching TV and someone's shaking my chair. You know, it doesn't hold up. But the castle, to me, like going in the castle, or this is gonna sound so stupid, but like going on a swing set at a park. Those are the 2 things for me that they never let you down.
yeah, I always said my superhero power would be to be able to experience things for the first time.
Oh,
Just
that's
like
awesome.
that wonder, like it still happens, but like once you know what's happening, like it's always not as powerful.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, last
That's
week
wild.
Blake was kind enough to pre-seat my friend and I for his last show, and his girlfriend was seated next to us, and she was telling us they bring their dog Penny, Pendragon, backstage just because they live in Manhattan Beach and don't want to leave him for that long. But she said the first show of the day, all of a sudden he was in his kennel, which was locked. All of a sudden he comes out from behind the curtain and like runs into the audience.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So yeah, she was telling us that story. And so then they ended up putting duct tape over the lock and everything. And then
he's a little escape artist.
Yeah, he really is. And so then Blake comes out and does his opener with duct tape around his mouth.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so funny.
And like midway through, there comes Penny from behind the
and he
curtain.
can't even say anything because he got duct tape on his mouth.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
that's
she runs
great.
down and grabs him, and he got to watch the show.
That is awesome.
I think he was confused because I guess he's part of like the big show.
Yeah, that's true. Like he walks out. I've seen on video and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, he was. He wanted to be part of the act.
It's like, look, guys, I've trained for this. Don't put me in a corner.
Yeah. And then after the room emptied out, he brought out the kennel. He's like, showed us, and we're like, how did he get out?
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, real magic.
Real magic. So, Rob,
Yes,
here we are.
here we are.
We are full-time performing.
Yes.
We are doing a bunch of cool experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, there's probably some things you want to do you haven't done.
Mm-hmm.
What are those things?
Know what love is like? Big, really big bucket list item.
Yeah.
Well, actually, the Disney premiere was one of them.
Yeah.
And then a couple of days later, got paid to perform at the Magic Castle for the first time
So cool.
for summer camp shows.
So how are those
Oh.
going? Are they fun?
Yeah, we've only done 2 so far.
Who are these kids? Like, where are they from?
So Adam Wiley works at a summer camp called, I believe it's Star.
Okay.
And every Thursday they bring them in to the Magic Castle. They get a tour. They get lunch. There's either 1 or 2 groups.
Yeah.
So yesterday we only did 1 show, 12 kids, so pretty easy. But so they get the tour and then they come see our show.
Oh, that's so cool.
So Micah and I each do a 20-minute set.
Yeah.
And I get paid for it.
That's amazing.
Because I've performed at the castle before, but it's for Micah's Night of the Raven, which happens once a year.
Yep.
And that is not paid.
Yeah.
But
That's cool, man.
yeah.
Did you get the check already?
Not yet. Actually,
Okay.
I need to submit my invoice for yesterday.
No, but that's cool, man. When you get that check and you look at it and it's like
Yeah.
Academy of Magical Arts and
Yeah. Well, actually, it's going to be from the camp, but actually, no, I have gotten a check from the AMA.
okay.
I did pre-show for the Houdini seance.
Oh, that's fun.
Yep, because nothing gets you hyped for a seance than balloon animals.
They're like, look, the rest of this is gonna be pretty scary. We need we need some whimsy in here.
Yeah. But yeah, it was like a Sunday brunch, and I guess this lady really liked balloons, so
That's cool, man.
yeah. And going back to the camp shows,
Yeah.
yesterday, Micah introduces me. I open, do my set. Then I introduce Micah as the very first magician I ever saw at the Magic Castle in this very room.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Did you come to where you saw Micah you guys are in the parlor?
Parlor.
In the parlor. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's got to be weird that you guys are doing a show together.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
That's fun, man.
Yeah. But yeah, he's a really nice guy and a really great magician.
Oh, he's a great dude.
And helped me out a lot with setting up rules because I haven't done like a strictly kid show in a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You mean like setting up rules with the audience of like,
Yeah.
here's what's going to happen.
Yep. Stay
Yeah.
seated.
Yeah. I used to do so many kid shows.
Mm-hmm.
And then now when I do it, like it takes a second, but you get back into that phase. You know what I mean? Like when I do like a festival or like tomorrow I'm doing the Watermelon Festival.
Ah, I saw that.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
Apparently. Yeah. It's this massive festival about watermelons. I was talking to the booker and he was like, all right, just so you know, like people walk in, they're going to run to the watermelon because you get all you can eat watermelon when you come to the Watermelon Festival, which is amazing.
Yeah.
I like watermelon. I don't know how much I could eat. You know, like, I don't know if there'd ever be a point where being enticed to have all the watermelon you could eat.
Well, it's a good source of lycopene.
Oh, well, good to know.
Yeah. Yeah. But, so yeah, I introduced Micah yesterday
Yeah.
and he's doing his set and he finishes with the old empty paper bag routine,
Okay.
which just produces a crap ton of stuff out of a beat up paper bag.
Right.
And like midway through, all of a sudden, like the lights go off.
What?
Yeah. And we were like trying to figure out the lighting system in the parlor.
Oh, yes. Dude, this is the story you were going to tell
Yeah,
me.
because we're trying to make it so that there was enough house lights so that we could see the kids, but also we weren't being blinded.
Yeah.
And like we're trying to like figure out a custom setup. So
Right.
need to talk to Rick to see if he can show us the ropes.
But the lights just went out completely.
Yep. Apparently there was a power surge, which affected like a bunch of the block. So I come out from backstage with my phone and the flashlight. Adam has his flashlight. And then Ben Roman comes in with like a little LED lantern. So like he gets most of the way through and then the lights finally come on.
Oh, wow.
But the kids were a little bit freaked out
Yeah.
because they were like talking about like the ghosts at the castle and everything.
Yeah. Oh, that's creepy.
And then third bucket list item that week came back to see Carissa and Nick Paul in the Palace, and Carissa was nice enough to get me seats. And across the way, there's Michael and Peter, Michael Carbonaro and Peter, and in between them is Paul Rubens.
No way.
Yeah, so I waved at Michael. Hey.
Yeah.
And then after the show, went over to say hello, said hi to Peter, and then Paul was like right in between them. And I didn't want to be rude, so I said, "Oh, hey, I'm Rob." He's like, "Hi, Paul." I'm like, "Or no."
I got your poster at my house.
Yeah. So I just said, "Hey, thank you for making me laugh as a kid."
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Dude, Pee-wee's Playhouse was like revolutionary. I remember sitting watching that show and just being enthralled.
Yeah. When I first moved out here, my friend and I had tickets to go see his live show.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they could not go anymore. So Eddie actually got the ticket.
Oh, cool.
Even though he already had the tickets to go with Lily later. But, we went, and it was pretty awesome. Like his voice was a little bit quieter than TV Pee-wee, but it was like it was the show right there.
And he doesn't age.
No, not at all.
Yeah. I'm like, it just looks exactly the same.
Yeah. Probably the big one is get booked at the Magic Castle doing a week.
Yeah.
I submitted a video to Jack a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And I mean, he likes me, I assume. Every time he sees me, he's like, "Hey, Rob, how's it going?"
Yeah.
Gives a hug and a handshake. And so I sent it to him, and I'm like, "Hey, have you taken a look at my video yet?" He's like, pulls out his phone, shows me his email, and he's like 13,000 unread messages. He's like, "Email me again. You got to get yourself at the top of the queue." So I sent it again. Yeah. And at the castle a couple months later, and I'm in the parlor, and all of a sudden Jack walks in, and he comes up to me. He's like, "I saw your video." And I'm like, "Yeah?" He's like, "I saw your video." And then walks to his seat.
He didn't say anything?
So after the show, I go try to look for him.
He's
and
the most mysterious man ever that has existed in the history of the world.
Yeah, I go to look for him afterwards, and like he's gone, just vanished.
Smoke.
Yep.
Just puff of smoke. God.
Yeah.
When was this?
This was 2016.
Okay.
And then I find him later, finally. And he tells me some very profound things.
Yeah.
Which pretty much everything he says is profound.
Oh, yeah.
There's a great, Amazing Jonathan had a YouTube talk show called Burn Unit.
Yes.
And he interviews Jack.
I didn't know he did one with Jack.
Oh man, like everything Jack says is like a riddle.
Oh yeah. Yeah, have you seen Mystery Men?
No.
And there's a guy on Mystery Men who's like, "Before you can learn from my teachings, I must teach you how to learn." And I was like, that's a Jack-ism right there.
One of my favorites is, if you walk in and you hit your knee on a table, are you mad at the table or are you mad at yourself? Jackanese.
It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I get there are no second chances, but there are new beginnings.
Ooh, that's good.
People come to the Magic Castle to see magic.
Yeah.
How are you going to fool me with a balloon?
Is that what he said?
Yep.
Ah.
Which every routine I do has magic in it,
Right.
but everything uses balloons, so it's sort of disguised a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But my friend John Reed challenged me at the beginning of last year to come up with sort of an impromptu routine that I could like bust out at the castle.
Yeah.
So my friend Willie Monroe has a torn and restored balloon idea.
Yeah.
And I sort of came up with the thing that I did at your show.
Yes. Yeah. It's great.
Yeah. So I've been like really working that, and it's fooled a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nick Paul, when he saw it at the show,
Yeah.
he's like, you should submit this to fool us.
Yeah. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
You should do that for Jack next time you see him.
Yeah.
You should. You should totally just be like, hey, Jack, I got something for you. Let's do it.
Yeah. And I wanted to include it in the shows we're doing for summer camp, but
yeah.
We don't want to go too long because like they're on a schedule and everything.
Right.
And right now I have about 18 with the 3 things I do. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. It'll happen, man.
Yeah.
It'll happen. Could do, I'm even thinking too, like put a Peller show together.
Yeah.
You know, because then
I think that's my best
you
way
get
to
the
sneak
variety.
in.
Well, you know, because then even though you are doing magic with the balloons, but like,
Mhm.
you know, then there's you pitch it as a variety thing.
Yeah.
Castle's always loved variety.
Yeah.
I mean, it's why they always love jugglers.
Yeah. Scott
know?
Neri and Joseph Tran did a Peller show earlier this year.
I'm sorry I missed that. That would have been great.
Yeah. I mean, we got Lindsay Benner in the
Yep.
Palace.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, maybe not
Michael
soon,
Rayner?
'cause- Yeah. Michael Rayner.
Rayner's a beast.
He
He's
is.
amazing.
I've never seen anybody kill in 15 minutes just balancing shoes on his face.
Yeah. And I have watched Michael Rayner perform for preschoolers. And I've watched him perform for drunk college students. And I've watched him perform for business people. And he kills every time.
It's
He is
funny.
a beast.
I've done his 2 Milk Minimum show a couple of times.
Yeah.
And like the first couple times I've seen him were like family audiences. Because I mean, he doesn't necessarily like doing libraries and stuff, but he likes $325, as he
Right.
says.
Yeah. He's like, I like sleeping in my own bed.
Yeah.
I'll do 3 of those a day and go sleep in my own bed. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, that makes a lot of sense.
But then the first time I saw him do stuff for adults is Ron Lynch's Tomorrow.
Okay.
And like people are like
Which is
clapping.
for the people who don't know, is a show that starts at midnight.
Yes. So technically it is not the Tonight Show, but it's tomorrow.
It's the Tomorrow Show. Yeah.
Yeah. But he like comes on stage and everyone's clapping. He's like, "Will you shut the fuck up?"
And you had not seen him do anything for adults at that point.
Yeah.
I did the new Bad Boys of Magic.
Oh, yeah.
I did their show with him. You weren't there that night.
No.
No.
I haven't. Actually,
That's right.
last night
That's
was
right.
the
It was
first
the
time I've
first
ever
time you
seen
saw him.
him
That's right.
like do a full show.
But this is now like a legendary Michael Rayner moment.
Oh man.
So maybe you've heard the story, but he came on stage and he had like a 20-minute set. He spent like 13 minutes going off about how he had just on the way to the show got a text message saying his gig for tomorrow was canceled because they decided to go with the reptile.
Oh yes.
Yeah. And he is just this slur of expletives and like, so he's begrudgingly doing his act while he's talking about these people that like passed him up for a lizard. I have it on video somewhere. It's amazing.
Yeah. Oh man. He's like one of the most fascinating people out here too.
Oh yeah.
Like he's married to Mo from Guts
Yeah, right?
or Global Guts.
Yeah.
He spins cheeseburgers on a parasol and
For a living.
yeah,
He posts videos of himself practicing
Singing
at the gym.
gym.
He's like at the gym.
just like
spinning-
doing juggling stuff that I've never seen him do live.
Yeah, like cups and like
Yeah.
shaker cups and stuff.
Yeah, shaker cups with IKEA plastic
Yeah.
things. And
Yeah.
I was at Booby Trap a few weeks ago and like It's been crazy to see the cheeseburger evolved.
Oh yeah,
Because like he used to use
Flaming-
McDonald's and now
Yeah.
it's Burger King.
Yeah, he's
And
very
now he
committed to
starts
Burger
off
King.
it wrapped and it unwraps.
Yeah.
And then pickles fly out and a pickle landed like right between my feet. That's accuracy. And then the flaming cheeseburger.
There is no better moment than being at Booby Trap and Michael Rayner on stage.
Oh man.
And you're just going like, it's a Wednesday night. This is Wednesday. This is what I do on Wednesdays.
Yep.
I love it, man.
It's the best.
Oh, dude, it's
Yeah.
the best, dude. I'm so glad that we did this and that we your voice has held up.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll keep holding up.
Yeah, we haven't talked about the universe or existential stuff,
No.
but we're gonna do a 27-part series. We could talk about that then.
Yeah. So coming in the fall, we'll talk about working at Horror Nights.
Yes.
Then after that, existential stuff.
Yep. Plus, we're gonna have to do our our holiday special.
Yes.
There'll be a holiday special that people can tune into,
hmm
and then we'll do the world tour.
Yeah. And then we'll do one about people from Connecticut who perform comedy
Yes,
and
It would
work
be
at
good.
Universal.
It would be. That was best. You did Eddie find? He found the balloons that you left for him. Does he know it was you? Did I
Yeah.
just rat you out on the podcast?
No, it was funny because it was like a month later.
Were they all deflated?
No, they were round balloons.
Okay,
So they still had air.
so tell everyone who's listening what
So
you did.
the only like real job I have where I remember on the clock is being a character at Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah.
And this year they built a new break room area. So the the animation studio
Like
store.
what?
It's called the building which it's attached to.
Okay,
It used to be called Cartoon Universal, but they
got it.
made it all Art Deco-y now.
Okay.
So it's the animation studio store, which has all like the souvenirs and stuff.
Yeah.
And we're like, who decided to name it ASS? So I take my breaks in the ass. So in the locker room, all the daytime employees, if you're like near the top of the roster,
Yeah.
you get your own locker
Yeah.
that you can put stuff in. And so they all have their names on it.
Right.
So I see Eddie Firth and like the little,
It's like first and last name. It's
Yeah.
like elementary school lockers.
yeah. So the vents, I found out are big enough that you can slip a uninflated balloon in. And then if you use a pump and inflate it, it'll inflate on the inside and then you can tie it off and then
Just shove it in.
flick it in. Yeah. So, filled up Eddie's locker with a bunch of balloons.
That's amazing.
And then like a month later, and I also like put my business card in like all my friends' lockers.
That's funny. Yeah, because this was because Eddie works with the
He's
Raptor stuff at the Jurassic World.
yeah,
And
he's real Chris Pratt,
yeah, he's real Chris Pratt.
as Chris Pratt's kid said.
Yeah, right. It's so funny. But yeah, they were on hiatus, so when he came back, he found all of your
Yeah,
balloons.
yeah. So I think we're like pretty tied. I need to do like a couple more podcast episodes and then get a Netflix special. But
That's it. I think I haven't told this to Eddie, but I'll say it here. I think that probably when he first came on my podcast, didn't have a Netflix special.
nope.
Second time, no Netflix special.
Yeah.
But then he did it a third time, and after the third time, he got a Netflix special. So he's the only guest to be on the show, I think, 4 times. So maybe that's the key.
Yeah.
What if we found out that being on my podcast was the key to getting a Netflix special?
Let's test this theory.
Let's test it. We'll do it again.
Awesome.
Tell everybody how they can find you, other than giving them the exact address to this house, which I've already posted in the show notes.
Okay. Well, you can find me across the street from Joseph Tran.
Yeah. The first step is to find Joseph Tran.
He's sometimes in town. When I saw him last week at the castle, his wife Lexi was there and said, "Oh man, if I knew you were here, I would have gone right home and robbed your house." Yeah, so robtheballoonguy.com will take you to my Facebook fan page, which is Rob Balchunas - Rob the Balloon Guy. Pretty much if you search Rob the Balloon Guy, you'll find me. Yeah, it's Balchunas, not Balchunas, which I get a lot, and I don't know. It's not a it's a Lithuanian name, so not many people know.
Yeah, it's a unique name, which is good in the entertainment business, having a different
Yeah. Like Sudeikis,
Yeah, it's true.
who was also a Magic Castle member.
He is.
He was there the other night to see Blake Foyt.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You want to hear? I'm going to shame myself on this podcast publicly. Jason Sudeikis was at the Magic Castle the last time I was in the parlor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know Jason Sudeikis. I've never met him. I love his stuff. He was hanging out at the bar, the Palace Bar. And so I'm presetting my show, and the Stephanie the manager goes, do you have any seats? And I'm like, yeah, just save one. And they're like, okay. And then they come back and they're like, who's your seat for? I'm like, it was just in case Jason Sudeikis wanted to come. They're like, oh, do you know Jason? I'm like, no. I didn't want him to come and want to see it, but not be able to get in. So,
Yeah.
Anyway, Jason Sudeikis, if you're listening, there's always a seat for you, buddy.
Same once I get booked. Let Jack know that you want to see me at the Magic Castle. Yeah. I really wanted to go up to him and say hello and say, hi, we're Lithuanian. And he'll be like, that's weird. And say, hey, that was an awesome spot on the Ellen Show when he was hosting.
Yeah.
Derek Hughes did a trick with him and his fiance.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I got to see it.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
A lot of very funny Lithuanians in Hollywood right now.
Apparently.
Pete Holmes, Lithuanian.
Oh.
Did you know?
Also a Magic fan.
Also a Magic fan.
Mm-hmm.
Also does podcasts.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
I should start a Lithuanian Magic fan club.
You should. You should. And it would be a very elite membership.
Second Tuesday of every month.
Second Tuesday.
At Brookledge West.
At Brookledge West, yes. Not to be confused with
Yeah.
Brookledge East or just Brookledge?
Just Brookledge.
Just Brookledge.
I'm also been on a kick recently of the SNL What Up With Dat.
Oh, yeah.
That was a quality
So good.
segment. And Jason in the tracksuit.
Doing the Running Man?
Yeah. And it's like, he just like falls into the
Yeah,
scene.
he
Like,
just,
he
like,
leaps
flies
in
into
from
frame.
nowhere.
Yeah.
It's
I'm
like,
do they have him on an Apple bot? Like,
I
giant
know.
Where's he coming from?
Yeah. So like, I really wanted to ask him about that, but
Yeah.
oh well, maybe next time.
And now that is he a magician member now?
I believe he is a
So
magician member.
Now we can't ask him about his secrets anymore.
Well, we are magicians, so we can share.
Oh, we can share.
we just
That's true.
can't tell associates
We
or
can't tell
the
everyone
general
else.
public.
That's true.
Like, I think he was using an ITR, but I'm not sure.
Okay, I think that's how he did it. Yeah. All right, friends. Everyone, go check out Rob. Thanks for doing this, man.
Sure thing.
All
Can't
right.
wait to do it again.
Yeah. How about I hang out in your living room and do another podcast right now?
Sure, let's have more magicians over.
Let's do it. There's not enough.
This neighborhood's lousy with them.